So, we're hearing some, I guess, reports, if you will, scoops, news out there in regards to what is happening. And apparently, Marvel and Sony may or may not be back in negotiations over Spider-Man, or they might have already worked something out for the future of Spider-Man in the MCU. Now, you know, Spider-Man is an interesting character because it's like Sony owns the movie rights, but Disney came to save Spider-Man from shambles. So they both kind of have a valid enough stake as, hey, we want to do this with them, or I don't want to do that with them. Do you guys believe any of this? And I guess I'll start with Mitch first. Mitch, what's your takeaway on this whole Marvel Sony possibly renegotiating things? What are you feeling on this?
I think they've already done it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way you have all three versions in one movie, along with like Defoe and everyone else who's apparently coming back.
Yeah.
And then be like, yeah, we get a step away because we don't like working with you. It's like, no, they've worked something's changed.
Yeah.
They both realize they need each other. They're better off together than they are apart with this franchise.
I can't disagree with that. Jared, how do you feel about this?
I'm inclined to agree with Mitch because I like you said, I have a hard time believing that we went from, oh yeah, Spider-Man's out of the MCU the day after Far From Home made $1 billion to, oh yeah, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, like this whole laundry list that they didn't come up with something already. I would like to hope so. Like I said earlier, like Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, period. And the version of him in the MCU just does nothing but put a smile on my face. So the more of him I can get, the better. And I hope something's been reached. I mean, I would, like I said, like you guys said, I would be stunned if they are doing something this bold and this insane with Spider-Man 3 and not already have something figured out.
That's exactly literally how I'm looking at it as well.
I'm also going to go out on a stretch and say the reason John Watts is doing Fantastic Four is because Spider-Man's in it.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Yep. And I mean, look, like, people, I don't know how people missed it, but at that investors call where Kevin Feige literally said that WandaVision, Loki, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man are all dealing with the multiverse without...
He actually didn't say Loki.
Oh, well, didn't he say that after?
No, well, at least with Doctor Strange, he only said WandaVision and our third Spider-Man movie.
Right, yeah, and then Loki later when they introduced it. But, like, we understand everything and how it's doing it, and then he confirmed the whole Spider-Man thing being, what it is. So I honestly think, like both of you, something here has been worked out to further include Spider-Man. And I think right now, the fact that, they are bringing back all of these characters and what they're doing, there's no way Kevin Feige would have agreed to be like, yes, we'll bring back the goddamn Amazing Spider-Man universe and tie it into the MCU if it didn't somehow benefit Disney in the long run. Because he could just as easily say, nah, we're going to wrap this up if you guys want to force us to do this and we can write them out safely. But something here has been worked out. That's a guarantee, I feel, too much happening to be like, well, this is his last official appearance and then one more cameo. No.
I say you don't go from, oh, he's out, oh, we're going to struggle for 3 months to make a deal. Let's do the biggest thing possible, which means you're going to kind of have to carry him on. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Then again, it's Sony, it's Rothman, they could turn around in 4 hours and be like, oh yeah, he's gone now. No.
Tom Rothman just shreds the contract, eats it, and he's like, contract what? There's no more copies of this thing around.
Nope. MCU Spider-Man until you bastards greenlight the Aunt May spy thriller.
I mean, Disney Plus.
Sony will get that in there one way or another.
Yes, they will.
We've got Morbius and Venom in the MCU. We're going to get that Aunt May in there.
Yup. Which kind of brings me to this whole... idea of this big negotiation that they might have had, I'm starting to suspect that in a weird way, we will see everything kind of, I guess, focused to this bigger connective tissue with Venom, with Morbius, with everything, because, like, it just seems like it sort of has to at this point, right? Like, it can't just be by accident. It can't be by chance. And we know that Disney's now putting more money into making these Spider-Man films. They're putting in, like, what, a quarter of the budget, I think, was the report?
I think that was the rumored one at the start,
Yeah.
It's either 20-25% stake in it so they can have a bit more control.
I mean, that's pretty damn substantial since they don't own it technically, and they make 10% back, 12% or whatever, so it's not bad. Like, at the end they come out breaking even, but
so I think it was a 25% stake for a 25% cut.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what Deadline reported. It's been like 18 months since that came out. I can't remember.
I think that sounds exactly right, Mitch. I think you're right.
Which I guess I kind of want to ask you guys a question, and I'll go first and I'll go around. So when it comes to this whole, I guess, connecting everything together, my takeaway is that I hope that they can sort of mash everything together and hopefully have Feige and his team look over everything, because he, as an executive producer, gets to see what they're planning to do. And we know from Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, he gave them like a laundry list of notes and things to change, and they didn't follow any of it. And they still do that for Venom and all these other films. I hope that somewhere in there he got to sit down with them being like, look, if we're really going to work this out, can you please implement these changes for the sake of this entire thing working out? Because I have no doubt that Kevin Feige would like to use Venom, but maybe not the version that they were going down. So I have this feeling that maybe he did go to them being like, look, let's retrofit this way maybe, so it fits better into what I'm trying to do to save both of us and Spider-Man from being a casualty. How do you feel about it, Jared? And what do you think they might do down the road with characters like Morbius and Venom and whatever the hell else Sony's doing?
It's so weird because, like, on one hand, I remember seeing Venom in the theater and just laughing my way through it, and just like, how are they trying to pass this off as being related to the MCU? And the whole rumors are like, there was a Spider-Man scene cut out of the movie. I remember that being like one of like the last big things that John Schnepp was like reporting on before he passed away. And there was something Peter Parker, something Tom Holland cut from that movie. And I was like, well, thank Christ.
Yeah.
And then you get the Morbius trailer. I don't know, honestly. Like, there's a part of me that's like kind of like strangely excited for there to just be a part of the MCU that's just like strangely bad. with like, we've
always had that with Incredible Hulk, haven't we?
Oh, hey, Mitch, don't do this, Mitch. Don't. Look, I know that like the audience at this point takes my opinion with like zero credibility because of what I said about Batman v Superman earlier. But God damn it, Incredible Hulk.
It's bad. It's okay to like it. There we go. It's fine.
But I love that answer. But with just having that weird corner that just feels so strange. And like, granted, and this is just now occurring to me, maybe the weird thing in the Morbius trailer where like there's the obvious screenshot from Spider-Man PS4, but it's wearing the Raimi suit. Like, maybe that makes sense now because Tobey's going to be in Spider-Man.
Right?
Maybe that's...
You watch, they're going to try and shoehorn that to be Tobey Spider-Man.
Yeah. Jesus.
And I hope so. Let's just go for it.
Like, it would never work in the context of the Raimi movies and what Venom did. Unless they go, it's a different version of Tobey Spider-Man.
I mean, just watch. We're going to come down to that point where we're watching Morbius and somehow that movie is like way deeper than we all thought when it connects to the multiverse. We walk away, we're like, That Morbius, man, crucial piece of the multiverse.
So it's Iron Man 2 in Phase 1.
Yeah, where that's so true though. It could happen.
Okay, follow me. So Morbius, we got a vampire, right? What if Sony, in their infinite wisdom, decides to go, okay, we got this vampire, we're going to tie this into the other vampires, and they introduce Moreland and the weird pan-dimensional vampires from the Spider-Man comic story?
Be perfectly honest, I desperately want Moreland in there.
Same. Yup.
Me too.
Is he a great character? No, not in the slightest. But that entire look is fantastic, and I love it. Steampunk multiverse shit is my jam.
Yup.
Give me that. You got a perfect place to do it with this movie. Just do it.
So I don't know. Maybe that's how they do it. Maybe that's how they go. Yeah, here's the pan-dimensional vampires that solely feed on spider people.
I like how we're getting excited for Morbius for everything it's not, because we're fan building this better movie. We're becoming the Star Wars fans. We're like, what if Darth Plagueis gives us exposition?
Can we just retcon Jared Leto out then? No. Get rid of him entirely.
Somebody will run. We'll run the entire movie through one of those deep fake movies, and we'll just impose a better actor on there.
Perfect. Okay. Has anyone got Collider's number? Because isn't that what they do these days?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That frustrates me so much. Yeah, they're really good podcasts that were sent to the grave for deep fake cinema.
That's that's the multiverse, man.
Jedi Council
that was
the
shit. Changing point in the timeline for where we are currently at right now.
It's true. There's a couple points in history that you look at, and that's the divergent paths.
It goes Harambe, and then they fire everybody good at Collider. It's those two that correlate. Not everybody. There's still some good people on the Prince side of stuff there, but.
Well, I suppose we'll know soon enough whatever Sony has in store, or whatever Sony's threatening Marvel with Spider-Man. But when we know more, we'll come back around and talk about it. So stay tuned.